Right. This is a question from recording the credit transactions in the journals, right? Recording the credit transactions in the journal. But from this particular question, you will be able to understand at the end of the session how to update the sales journal, purchases journal together with the value-added tax. How to update the sales and the purchases journal together with the value-added tax. And then how to update the private ledger account, which is in the debtors and the creditors ledger, and how to update the control account, which is in the general ledger. You know that with regard to the ledger accounts, there are two types of ledgers. One is a general ledger, other one is a private ledger. You have to study from this particular session how to update the private ledger as well as the general ledger, and how to update the journals, especially the sales and the purchases journal, right? That is the main objective of this particular session. Okay, we'll move to the question. They are giving these transactions for a business date, invoice number and the transactions. You can see 5th January 150 invoice, invoice figure. Okay, 8th January, there was a credit purchases. There was a credit purchases under the invoice number 56. And then on 12th January, there was another invoice that is 126. It's a sales, right? And then there was a credit purchases and there was another credit sales. There are 3 credit sales and the 2 credit purchases. You can see, if you look at sales invoice numbers, you find the sequential order. In the sales invoice numbers, you find the sequential order. Why is that? What's the reason for it? Can someone tell me what's the reason for it? Why you have the sequential order there? Because when it's come to the sales invoices, that will be raised by ourselves. Api sales invoice raise karani. Api order eකට අපේ sales invoice ඔන්න පොත තියෙනවා. Okay, ඉස්සලාම අපි sale එකක් කරාම ඒ invoice එක කඩලා දෙනවා. ඊළඟ 125 වලින් අපි මේ month එක start කරලා තියෙනවා. 126, 127, likewise it goes. හැබැයි when it's come to the purchases, you are buying from the different supplier. You are buying from the different supplier. As you are buying from the different supplier, you can't expect the same sequential order. මේ පළවෙනි එක නාරදකින් අරන් තියෙනවා. මේකත් purchase from නාරද කියලා තියෙන එක නදුන් කරගන්න පුතා. මේකේ නදුන් no someone. Then එයාගෙන් වුණත් ඉතින් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. නාරදගෙන් වුණත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මොකද නාරද අපිටම purchase invoices raise කර ඉන්නේ නැහනේ. Right. මේක 18 January. මේක 18 January. This is 21st January. 21st January, right? We'll make it like that. Okay, hurry. You can see when you are buying from the different person, different supplier, you won't get the same sequential order. You won't get the same sequential order. So then it's a different sequential order. Then you need to understand, if it is a sales invoices, you find the sequential order. If it is a purchase invoices, you don't find the sequential order, and you know the reason for it as well. Hurry. Okay, after finishing that, the question says above sales and the purchases are subject to 8% VAT. But හොඳටම පැහැදිලි මේ 60-40 ඇතුලේ VAT එක නැහැ. No value added tax. Why? Because even the trade discount has not been deducted. එහෙනම් what you need to do? You need to consider the value added tax as well. And then thereafter they want you to prepare what? Sales journal, purchases journal, sales ledger accounts in the general ledger, private ledger accounts in the debtors and the creditors ledger. Right, hurry. Okay, shall we do it then from the beginning? Okay, what's the first transaction on 5th January? There was a credit sales. There was a credit sales. You sold 1,500 units at 60 each. When there was a credit sales, you know that it need to be recorded in the sales journal. Credit sales must be recorded in the sales journal. Then you can go and record on 5th January. There was a credit sales. 5th January 5th, there was a credit sales. Name of the customer, that is Kasun. You sold to Kasun. Invoice number, it's 125. මට කියන්න Kasunගේ sale එකේ value එක කීයද? Value of the sales is how much when it's come to the Kasun? So the list price of Kasun, how much? Yeah, 1,500 into 60. That is 1,500 into 60, which is 90,000. Then always we charge the value added tax. Always you charge the value added tax after deducting the trade discounts, which means you charge the value added tax on the invoice price. List price is the price before deducting the trade discounts. Therefore, what shall we do? From the list price, you are subtracting what? Trade discount. Trade discount is 10%. Am I right? Trade discount percentage is 10%. Okay. Trade discount is 10. Then you subtract the trade discount 10%, which is 9,000. So trade discount is rupees 9,000. Right? And invoice price is how much? Invoice price is 90,000 minus this, it's 81,000. 90,000 minus 9,000, it will be 81,000. Then only you charge the value added tax. VAT percentage is 8%. Then you add the 8% there, and then you get the total value, total amount, value together with the value added tax. 81,000 plus this, it's 87,480. That is rupees 87,480, right? 87,480. Okay. This is how you charge what? Or you calculate the value added tax on the sales and the purchases. Always from the list price, you are required to deduct the trade discounts and find the invoice price, and then you calculate the VAT. Okay. In the value column, as a sales, you record only these 81,000 because that is your income. VAT on sales need to be recorded separately. You know that VAT on sales is an assets or a liability? A liability, because this need to be remitted to the Inland Revenue Department. So the total amount that you are about to collect from Kasun, that is 87,480. 87,480. Okay. That is all about the first transactions. Hari. We need to do one more thing, but that is soon after you update the journal, if you maintain the individual ledger account, that you must update. Individual ledger accounts need to be updated soon after you record them in the journal. In a Kasun journal, Kasun ledger account, okay? In the Kasun's ledger account, Kasun's account, you need to record how much this particular sales. And on 5th January, saying sales, you record 81,000, and from him you charge the VAT of 6,480. You won't record anything in the general ledger. General ledger will be updated only at the end of the month. General ledger update karana month end decade, right? General ledger will be updated only at the end of the month, right? With the total, therefore nothing will be recorded in the general ledger. Got it? But private ledger need to be updated soon after the journal is updated. If the journal update karna, private ledger record karna. Journal update karna, private ledger record karna. Month end decade, you take the total of the journal and copy to the general ledger, including control account. So you understand that particular thing. Hari. What was the next transaction? That's a credit purchase, 6,000. 6,000 at 40 each. 6,000 units at 40 each, 8 January. 6,000 units at 40 each. Right. Okay. Right. Api kawuda ganne metenta කාටද අපි sale එක කරලා තියෙන්නේ? නාරද. Right. මට කියන්න නාරදගේ list price එක කීයද? ඒ කියන්නේ price before deducting the trade discount. Narada's price before deducting the trade discount is how much? 6,000 into 40.
228,000.
Yeah. 6,000 into 40, which is 240. Have I making up adu karanna one 5% trade discounts. Trade discount of 5%. 240,000 වලින් 5% කියලා කියන්නේ පුතා, it's 12,000. Right? Then this minus this, it's 228. On අපේ income එක. අපි sale එකක් කරද්දී, sorry, මේක තමයි purchase price එක. Right? This is the invoice price. How do you call this? Invoice price. Okay. This is your invoice price, that is 228. ඕක තමයි අපි record කරන්න ඕනේ. එහෙනම් අපි කාගෙන්ද මේක purchase කරලා තියෙන්නේ 8 January from Narada. 8 January from Narada. Invoice price is invoice price is 56. Then you record 56. හරි. එතකොට අපේ purchase value එක it's 228. හැබැයි ඒකට අපිට VAT එකකුත් ගෙවන්න ඕනේ. We need to pay the VAT of 8% because the question says every sales and the purchases are subject to 8% VAT. So 8% of that 18,240. එහෙනම් together with that 228 plus this it's 264,480. හරි. එහෙනම් පුතා value added tax is 18,240, right? The total will be the total of these two, right? Okay. Now what shall we do? Same on the same day you need to update the creditors ledger. Narada account එක update කරන්න. Narada's account need to be updated. මතක තියාගන්න individual ledger account must be Narada's account. Individual ledger account must be updated soon after the transaction take place. එතකොට නාරදගේ account එක credit වෙන්න ඕනේ 8 January. Same purchases, how much you credit? Same purchases you credit to the, yeah, it's 228,000, and also you need to pay him the value added tax of 18,240. You need to record the value added tax of 18,240. Okay, now even that is fine. We will move to the next. Right. What next? Yeah, 12 January there was a credit sales to Kalhara, 15%, right? On 12 January, invoice number 126, Kalhara, right? මට කියන්නේ යාගේ invoice price එක කීයද? How much the invoice price you get there? කියන්න. 2000 into 60.
102.
Yeah, 2000 into 60, which is 120,000, and we are giving them a discount of 15%. දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් පුතා අපි supplier customers ලට sale එක කරද්දී sale price එක වෙනස් කරන්න බෑ. list price එක list price ම තමයි. මේ list price is the list price. That cannot be changed, no. අපි ඒ නිසා කරේ මේ ගානේ මේ බලන්න. මේ ගානේ මම කරලා තියෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? ඔයා හැමෝටම විකුණලා තියෙන රුපියල් 60 ගානේ තමයි. හැබැයි ඒගොල්ලන්ට දෙන ට්‍රේඩ් ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එක වෙනස්. ඒගොල්ලෝ අපේ කොච්චරක් පර්චේස් කරනවද? ඒක මත අපි යාට දෙන ට්‍රේඩ් ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එක වැඩි. එයා අපිත් එක්ක කොච්චර ට්‍රාන්සැක්ෂන්ස් කරලා තියෙනවද? එයා කොච්චර කාලයක් ඉඳන් අපෙන් අපි අඳුරනවද? ඒ මත යාට දෙන ට්‍රේඩ් ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එක වැඩි. මොකද අපි විකුණන්නේ එකම ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක නම් if selling the same product, unit list price has to be same. එතන මම මෙතන strategically මොකද්ද කරලා තියෙන්නේ? ට්‍රේඩ් ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එක විතරක් වෙනස් කරලා තියෙනවා. මම හිතනවා ආට ඒක තේරෙන්නේ නැති කියලා. That is the most practical way of doing it. Okay, එහෙනම් අපි මේක විකුණන්නේ මෙයාට 102 වලට. එතකොට ඒකට තමයි අපි VAT එක ගෙවන්න ඕනේ. 8%, that is 8,160. Then it will be how much? Yes. This is 102,000. Value added tax is 8,160. Then the total comes to, total is the additions of these two, that is 110,160. But on the same day you need to update the individual debtor account, right? Okay, on 12 January, same sales you record, it's 102,000, and as a value added tax you record 8,160. That is 8,160. Okay, individual ledger accounts are updated, and what next? You can see transaction soon after it take place, you record them in the journal and update the individual debtor account, right? Or creditors account. Okay, I asked you to make it 18 January. 18 January you made a credit purchases from, it has to be Nadun under the invoice number 258. 18 January, make it 18 January, and supplier names Nadun, purchases. 18 January 258, invoice number, name of the supplier is Nadun, name of the supplier is Nadun, and then you sold 5,000 units at 30 each. You sold 5,000 units at 30 each. Sorry. You say 5,000 into 30, it's how much? 150,000. 5,000 into 30, it's 150,000. Right? It's 150. ඊළඟට මේගොල්ලන්ට අපි දෙනවා trade discount එකක් කොච්චරක්ද? We are giving them a trade discount of how much? 10%. It's 10%. එහෙනම් on that we are giving 10%, which is 15,000. එහෙනම් මට කියන්න invoice price is 135. On that you are charging 8% VAT, which is 135,000 plus this thing 145,800. And value will be 135,000 and value added tax will be 10,500. Then the total will be this. Okay, you need to update then Nadun's account, right? Ekama vidiyata nisa I didn't make lots of explanations there. You need to update the ledger account in the same way. You can say Nadun account on 18th, purchases $135,000 and the value added tax supplier. එතකොට පුතා supplier ගේ account එක නදුන් ගේ account එකට අපි දෙකම credit කරනවානේ. Purchase amount and the value added tax both need to be credited. 135,000 then 10,800. Good, right? Okay, what you do next? 12 January, 4,000 units you sold for 60. 4,000 units you sold for 60. Credit sales. 21st January. මම එක 21st January කරන්න කිව්වා. 127. Name of the customer. You can say Kavisha. Right. Okay. Kavisha අපි කොහොමද sales කරලා තියෙන්නේ? Kavisha අපි sell කරලා තියෙනවා කොහොමද? You sold 4,000 units into 60 each. 4,000 unit into 60, right? And we gave him a discount of how much? 15%, right? We gave him a discount of 15%. Then how much will be the invoice price? Invoice price will be list price minus trade discounts. Invoice price minus trade discounts. So how much will be the invoice price for that? It's 204,000, and for that you are charging 8% VAT. 16,320, and it will be 220,000. For the value added tax 204,000. Sorry, VAT exclusive price. VAT portion is this much, then the total is this much. Hari. Then api karanna one ekama de me velave you need to update the individual data account. You must update the individual data account. Kavisha. You get Kavisha account. It's 104,000. Value added tax is how much? Okay, 16,320. Okay, now everything is fine, right? What we have done so far, we recorded, we updated the transactions in the journal like this. There were 2 credit purchases and there were 3 credit sales. Both we updated in the journals as well as the private ledger account. You can see, did we record anything? VAT control account. Did we record anything? Did we record anything in the general ledger? No, nothing. General ledger ke api mukut record kare naha. Nothing can be recorded in the general journal because general journal oka hondata mataka tiyaganna control accounts walata rectifications of errors walata dekatama important, right? Saha godak anith dewal walata it is important how to update the control account and the individual control accounts will be updated at the end of the month, but the individual ledger accounts need to be updated soon after the transaction take place. Okay, now if you take the total like this, right? So there you say on 31st January, total posted to the GL, you recorded, right? Total credit purchases. Now you copy purchase journal ke total karana record karanna. So the total purchases 363,000. That has to be debited here. 31st January. You can see how you updated the general ledger. Here you say trade payable control account 363. Purchases account එකට හැමතිස්සෙම යන්නේ VAT exclusive amount එක. මේකම credit වෙනවා. කොහෙද පුතා? Trade payable control account on 31st January. Look at the date, last date of the month. This will be credited. බලන්න මම ලියන්නේ purchases. Always I need to write the name of the opposite ledger account. That is 363,000. Okay. ඊළඟට ඔන්න value column එක අපි record කරා. දැන් VAT on purchases is an asset. It need to be VAT control account. It need to be debited to the VAT control account, credited to the trade payable. Make a trade payables account credit කරන්න ඕනේ. එහෙනම් on 31st January මේකට debit කරනවා trade payable VAT control. VAT control account must be debited because VAT on purchases is an asset. Keep it in your mind. VAT on purchases is an asset. Make a credit karana. Make up a supplier to give one no. This 29,040 must be paid to the supplier. Supply account was credited by the same amount, right? It was credited by the same amount, right? Now what else to be recorded? Sales journal. Now take the total of the sales journal. 387,000. Yeah. Then you say total posted to GL. Total posted to GL. Right. Always you need to write it. Always you need to write. If it is a journal, yes, you need to write it. Total posted to GL. But again, how much is your sales income? Only 387. That has to be debited to the trade receivable control account, right? Trade receivable control account must be debited on 31st January. Sales 387,000. Puta make up a income maker so that you need to credit it to the sales account. That column, value column will be debited to the trade receivable and credited to the sales account. Sales account and credit karna saying trade receivable, how much? It's 387,000. ඊළඟට value added tax 30,960. Value added tax 30,960. ඒකත් අපි මෙයාගෙන් collect කරන්න ඕනේ. Saying VAT, you record how much? 30,960 and credited to VAT control account. VAT on sales is a liability, right? Then saying trade receivable, you need to credit here. It's 30,960. Okay, now everything is fine. Now everything is fine, right? You can see how we update the journals, how we update the private ledger accounts, and how we update the general ledger accounts. With our general ledger, we update at the end of the month with the total. At the end of the month with the total, but the private ledger account you should update, right, soon after the transaction takes place. Private ledger එකේ අපි යන්නේ single entry එකක්. මේක අපි යන්නේ single එක entry එකයි record කරන්නේ. දැන් මේ බලන්න මේ private ledger එක කියන්නේ වෙනම ledger එකක් නේ. ඒතර customer account එකට debit කරා private ledger. හැබැයි ඒක වෙන කොහෙටවත් credit කරේ නෑ. You didn't credited that to anywhere. You got it as it wasn't credited to anywhere. Right. Okay. This is all about what? The additional question number 1 we have given on the credit transactions, right? Given on the credit transaction. Okay.